Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick 18 of my favorite 31 hard rock and metal albums of the 70s. We are counting down all month long here in July 2023. 31 days in a month, we're picking out our 31 favorite heavy albums of the 70s with a maximum for me of only 2 albums for any one band. So my pick today is a band that I could have easily had, 3, 4, maybe 5 picks on the list. And again, I'm only going to go with 2. And then I had to kind of decide which was the second one because my favorite is going to be featured much later in this series later in the month. And then I actually took this album off my list, and then couldn't live with myself for not putting it on the list. Right? So when I finally made a decision what the second album was going to be by this band, and I was like, okay, it's on the list. And I was like, I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but I still think it's amazing, right? And I took it off in favor of something else, and then I was sitting there, and it's almost like you see it sitting off to the side, and it's like staring at you, and it's like talking to you. It's like, please don't forget me, please don't forget me. You can't leave me off the list. And I'm like, yeah, I can't leave you off the list. I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So the switch happened once again, right? This is the kind of agonizing stuff that I do in these series, right? These lists and things like that. It's like, how can I leave it off? Anyway, this is the 4th album from this particular band, released November 8th, 1971. It's another British band, right? Of course, recorded with the Rolling Stones Mobile at Headley Grange and Headley Island Studios in London and Sunset Sound in Los Angeles. Recorded for Atlantic Records, produced by Jimmy Page himself. Of course, I'm talking about the untitled Led Zeppelin album, otherwise known as Led Zeppelin 4 or Zoso or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? The guy with the sticks, the guy with the Bizarro album, right? The album that is not named, right? The album shrouded in mystery always, but yet one of their biggest sellers of all time, right? So this is the album that spawned lots of classics. Of course, Jimmy Page on guitars and all sorts of other stringed instruments. He played mandolin on here, all that. Robert Plant vocals, a little bit of my beloved harmonica. John Bonham on the crazy crushing drums, and John Paul Jones, always the secret MVP of Led Zeppelin, right? On bass, electric piano, mandolin, recorders, Mellotron, a little bit of synthesizers, all that kind of stuff. With a little help, of course, with Sandy Denny, duet lead vocals on one track, and Ian Stewart's piano on one track. Of course, Ian Stewart, Rolling Stones, right? So what do we got on this album as if you needed to talk about it and needed to know, right? Of course, it starts off with Black Dog. Still think I've heard it a million times, but I still think Black Dog is pretty damn terrific. It's heavy, it's rocking, it's tumultuous, it's complex. What a riff, what a vocal, what a groove. I mean, it's so good. So good. Still to this day, I always get jacked every time I hear Black Dog. Now, rock and roll, I have a different relationship with. I know people, to some, rock and roll is legendary, it's beloved and all that, and I get it. There was quite a few years where I felt that way as well. I am beyond sick of rock and roll, to the point where if I see a TV commercial that's got that on it, and there are some, I turn the volume down. If I happen to be listening to satellite radio or the radio and rock and roll comes on, I generally change the station. I know it's blasphemy, I get it, but I have no interest in hearing rock and roll again. Just don't. Battle of Evermore, I think, is really cool. That's kind of like this cool, folky, mystical type piece. Of course, Sandy Denny and Plant doing the dual vocals. I think Battle of Evermore is just absolutely terrific. And again, this is like one of those albums where you have like the big popular songs that you know so well that you've heard a million times, and then the deep album cuts that maybe you haven't heard quite as much. So that's why, like, when I listen to this album today, or of late, when the Battle of Evermore comes out on, I get kind of jacked to hear that, because that's not, that overplayed factor isn't quite there with that. Then of course you have Stairway to Heaven. Again, one of the most famous rock songs of all time. I still think it's a work of genius. For me, I don't need to hear Stairway to Heaven more than like once or twice a year. And when I hear it, I enjoy it. Any more than that, and I'm kind of like, oh, here we go again, right? Because again, we've heard it a million times, but man, it's so great, right? You got the folky acoustic beginning, you get the big thunderous climax, that great guitar solo. I mean, what's not to love about Stairway to Heaven, right? It is a classic for a reason. Misty Mountain Hop, I think, is excellent, right? Good, upbeat, hard rocker, great guitar riff on that. I really like Four Sticks a lot. I think that crushing riff is just awesome. Yeah, it's kind of plodding and drony, but man, you know, and man, Bonham is just going berserk underneath. I think Four Sticks is great. I know some people don't really dig it all that much, but I like it. Going to California, I don't care for. I've never cared for. Yeah, it's breezy, it's nice, it's folky, it's poppy, it's whatever. It's never been my thing, ever. I remember that when I first bought this album all those years ago in the late 70s, I was always kind of like, yeah, this song to me is kind of boring. I still find it kind of boring today. I know people love it. I get it. Don't shoot me. Can't like everything. I appreciate for what it is. I know why people dig it, right? It's a good tune. It's just not a tune for me. That's all. And When the Levee Breaks is absolutely terrific. Absolutely terrific. It's basically just a great 7-minute long, you know, let's borrow from the blues type of thing and make it our own. And man, the riff is great. The slide guitar is great. I don't even mind the harmonica here because it's kind of like haunting, you know, and it's used in an interesting way. And the vocal is so good. Man, Bonham is so good on it. When the Levee Breaks is absolutely terrific. What an album ender, right? I mean, that's how you close out an album. Just so good. You know, a contender for, you know, one of the great songs on this album. So 42 minutes long. Again, you know, 2 tracks that I don't really need to listen to. The rest of it I still find pretty damn terrific. And but you know, what's good on here is monumentally good. I mean, it's Zeppelin, for crying out loud, right? So let's take a look at the charts. Here we go. Ready? We're going to go off to the races here. Australia number 2, Austria number 12, Canada number 1, the Danish charts 21. Dutch charts 7, Finland 7, Germany 5, Norway 3, Spain 8, Sweden 8, UK number 1, US Billboard number 2. Crazy. No, Sal, no Italy. What's up with Italy not getting it on the Zeppelin train, right? Shame on them. Every other major country for the most part is up here. When it was reissued in 2014, Hungary number 13, Poland number 18. What else? Certifications. All right. Holy moly. All right. So in Australia, 9 times platinum, 600,000 plus copies. Brazil, platinum, 250,000 copies. Canada, 2 times diamond, 2 million copies sold. France, 2 times platinum, 600,000 copies sold. Germany, 3 times gold, 750,000. Oh, here we go. Italy. So, see, Sal, it didn't chart in Italy, but it went platinum in Italy. 50,000 units sold. Japan, platinum, 200,000 units sold. Norway, silver, 20,000. Norway, the reissue, when it was reissued, it went double platinum, 40,000 units. Switzerland, platinum, 50,000 units. The UK, 6 times platinum at just under 2 million copies sold. And in the United States, as of last certification, 24 times platinum, 24 million copies sold. It's just crazy good, right? I mean, that's huge numbers, enormous numbers worldwide. So, yeah, there's a reason why this album is so beloved. There's a reason why it's on my list. Forget the sales and the certifications. It just deserves to be here because some of Zeppelin's greatest songs are on this album. It's heavy, it's light. The light and shade thing is going full bore on here. There's big, heavy rock, hard rock, blues rock, folk rock, a little bit of pop. It's all here. Zeppelin 4. Or Zoso, or Untitled, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's my number 18. Let us know what you think of this album in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, pick number 18. And visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all that. Stay tuned for tomorrow, pick number 17. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.